So, it's come to this. It's appropriate that it's still Sci-Fi July because we've become spacemen.
I have two thoughts in my head right now. I'm thinking of John Hurt in Alien when he goes out of the ship at the beginning of the movie. And we all know what that leads to. I'm also thinking about the Hurt Locker and how Jeremy Renner just deserved an Oscar nomination for wearing this in a desert.
Yeah, you're right.
This is actually, I think, very, very clever.
Well, Tona designed this mask. She did a really good job. It's sealed up with a silicone sealant. It's got this nice fabric all around it.
So that we can breathe.
Yet inside, it's feeling a little swampy at this point, and I'm not sure you can see my face.
In cooler months of the year, I think this would be quite swell. And also, when I first tried it on, I didn't have proper instructions, and I tried tying it around my neck, and I realized that basically just cuts off all your air. Not just around the edges, but also at your neck. So it was a twofer of suffocation.
I've got a bunch of movies that I've never seen before. You don't know what they are. Every episode, I'm going to spring one on you. It might be good. It might be bad. We'll watch it and talk about it. Welcome to the basement.
Well, the space helmet was getting a little steamy, so I thought we should switch to some more minimal masks. We're doing the show with masks on, folks. Can you be funny in masks? I don't know.
I do know, because I've seen the TV show MASH.
Also, Spider-Man's funny. He wears a mask all the time. I'm as funny as Spider-Man, goddammit!
This Korean War is really getting me down.
Okay, you know, folks, we could be irritated by this, we could be uncomfortable by this, or instead we could choose to embrace the mystery of stepping outside of your comfort zone and using it to create comedy for you.
Yes.
That's what we're going to do.
And we want to watch movies together.
All right, I'm wearing the wrong glasses. I got to switch. It is time to continue Sci-Fi July. I know you fancy yourself to be a pretty smart fellow, but I doubt even you could solve the Zero Theorem. Released in 2013, TZT was directed by Terry Gilliam and stars Christoph Waltz, Tilda Swinton, Peter Stormare, Matt Damon, and Basement alum David Thewlis. Both Ewan McGregor and Billy Bob Thornton were cast in the lead role, but each ended up having to drop out. The Matt Damon role was originally intended for Al Pacino, and to that I say hooah!
This is how long it takes Terry Gilliam to get a project off the ground. He probably was working on this back when Al Pacino was Matt Damon age.
Many people see this as the third film in Gilliam's unofficial dystopia trilogy, the first two films being Brazil and 12 Monkeys. I don't know who those people are, I just read that somewhere, I might have made it up, I'm not sure.
It's about time Christoph Waltz shows up and does that one thing he does really well.
I want to solve the Zero Theorem. I'm having a very difficult time doing it. If this movie puts you in the mood for deciphering, then this gift will be possibly enjoyable for you.
Perquacky! The different word game. It's the different word game. Do you want to play Scrabble? No, I want to play a different one. Oh, you mean Bananagrams? No, the different one.
So put on your mask because you won't be allowed on the old leather couch without it as we settle down to take in the Zero Theorem.
Zero.
Shall we play a game? It is I, Christoph Waltz. I'm so happy to be in this movie. Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, black hole sun. Cohen Leth.
A bald naked man sits in his own private cathedral looking at a computer of a black hole and the phone rings. He answers the phone and it ain't the phone call he wanted.
He's a rather unhappy man and he goes out to work at a job that he doesn't particularly like. For those of you at home, I just made a vampire face.
Go away.
You're ruining my homelessness. He works for Mancom. That job involves peddling and receiving strange colored liquids through a slot. You know, future work. He goes and talks to his bosses and tells them that he thinks he's dying. Every Terry Gilliam movie has a panel of bureaucrats.
This subject has undergone 5 physicals the last year.
Do you think Peter Stormare in this, is he going to be terrifying or merely frightening?
He wants to work from home.
There's this middle management type named Joby who comes by and harasses him, and also invites him to a party.
Just give you the address, you turn up, and I'll do the rest.
You turn up.
I'll toss you into the stew!
Of course, Q hates the very concept of parties, but he goes anyway to talk to management.
You party!
It's not a real party until you hear... And there's this woman there.
Bainsley, because that's a name. Well, his name is Queen. So, who am I to complain?
Maximum brain, minimalist body.
I am from Russo Euroasia. Do you think this is far enough in the future where John Legend is an actual legend? Like he's just whispered about over campfires? He wanders into a room and what do you know? There's management. The biggest boss of the company.
Sit.
Mr. Leth, I'd like to inquire about your preference for apples. And I'd like to inform you that I got her login and password information, and I would like to query you as to how you appreciate those apples. Cohen eats an olive and promptly chokes on it. Bat boy! Bat boy! His life is saved by Bainsley. Oh, Ratatouille. Always thinking of your next dish.
Care to join me?
We pee stacked up where I come from. Why don't you go out with me on dates sometime? We don't like to do that. We don't like to be touched. We don't like to talk to people. We don't like to go outside. Kind of a parallel to current... Never mind.
Well, you don't know me.
You don't know me.
I don't know you.
I don't know you.
Hey, you want a different job?
You know, I have a special project for you that could prove to be mutually beneficial.
He wants him to work on something called
Zero Theorem.
The big project of the movie!
Voila!
There's this little kid named Bob who's going to help him out. The basic principle of Zero Theorem is that everything adds up to nothing. For this theorem to work, 0 must equal 100%. He starts to work on it. At first, he's all excited. He's jangling around. This is a Tetris 9000.
Your next installment of Processed Ultra is due for upload in 1 hour.
Shut up, Rocky Horror. It's snowing in his house. It's like that movie where it snows in the house. You know the one. The snow comes in from the roof is all...
Dr. Zhivago?
No, the roof is all broken and it's snowing.
He also gets a therapist in a box, a therapy program played by this lady. Zoom chats. Having to work from home. I have a feeling that Christoph Waltz has never played a video game or done math.
But eventually he gets frustrated because the Zero Theorem is impossible to prove. He smashes his computer. He's Edvard Munking out.
Excuse me, we're looking for the John Woo movie. A sexy nurse drops by, but it's not actually a registered nurse. It's actually Bainsley.
She wants his business.
In case you're getting the wrong idea,
I am seducing you.
you're a pretty intense guy.
This intensity wins Oscars, baby. He tells her about his best memory, the time he got a phone call.
And it said his name. And he says, hey, I'm going to tell you your special purpose. And then the line got cut.
And he's been waiting for that call to happen again his whole adult life.
But don't go away.
And don't go changing to try to please me.
And don't go chasing waterfalls. These two guys come in.
Chops roll, Bob. Fast as I could.
Oh, Gilliam!
Yep, we're at peak Gilliam here.
They seem important. They like matching outfits. They like physical incongruity. Bob comes by in the morning to go to work. Turns out he's management's son.
The Darth Vader of microprocessing, the guy called Daddy Dearest, also known as management.
I know about Darth Vader because I went to a museum. Let's order a pizza.
Pizza! Pizza!
The pizza delivery driver comes by. She's a sexy pizza delivery driver, and she shows off her stuff.
He gets very flustered by the pizza delivery woman. He is 15.
I just couldn't believe how bodacious those tatas were.
Our diet precludes pizza.
Pizza Rat! Who's texting me?
What do you think?
This came off of a snake when the snake didn't need it anymore. It's a virtual reality suit.
Put on the suit, go to the website, click on the clickety-click.
And we can have a fun time together.
Are you going out like that?
Cypress Hill's least popular single. Are you going out like that? Are you going out like that? Are you going out? He plugs himself in. They still have to type www this far in the future. Come on. Punches the button, and suddenly he and Ainsley Bainsley, and suddenly he and Bainsley are in this island paradise.
It's all on the internet.
He's got a full head of hair. There's lobster and champagne. You can eat shellfish and never go into anaphylactic shock. Could Q finally feel pleasure? We are having a good time frolicking.
Q goes off and nearly drowns. Really? This thing?
Can we die here?
Let's find out. Quack. Q talks to his therapist again. She starts spitting some rhymes.
Yo, you cannot, will not help you, Q. We do want to help you, ain't it true?
This is the thing I least expected from this movie.
I forget what she raps about. Stuff.
Her rapper name is Killa Swinton. They're back on the beach. Bainsley says, let's go to where you like to go. Show me what's inside you. What's inside him is a black hole. They both fall into it. Q is kicked out of the program.
The entities could.
She says you'd work together more often. They'll crack this code together.
Yeah. Maybe the Zero Theorem has been the 2 theorem the entire time. Bob tells Q the truth about himself and that phone call. There was no phone call. He's just kind of an old crazy guy. The entire universe will someday be sucked into a black hole. That black hole is the Zero Theorem.
Bainsley comes by. I don't see a pizza in your hands.
Everything I own is in my van outside. I don't know where I'm going, but...
I think I'm going to live in a van down by the river. Why don't you come with me? We'll travel together.
Just come with me.
No, I must stay here and keep the plot spinning in neutral.
No, we can't.
Call to adventure resisted.
Did I just hear what I think I heard?
If it was a rat playing an organ, yes, that is what you heard.
Bob is sick. He's got a fever. Puts him in the bathtub, takes him out of the bathtub. Weekend at Left's, the wackiest comedy you'll see all summer.
Pizza!
The two fellows come by.
You have made a very big mistake.
Oompa, loompa, doompa dee doo.
I wouldn't want to be in your shoes.
They would be way too big for me because I'm so tiny.
Q goes back down to the mainframe. He meets up with management.
Are you real or are you just in my mind?
Doesn't matter at all. You're part of the neural net now.
Q asks the question that he's been wanting to ask the entire movie.
Why would you want to prove that all is for nothing?
I'm a businessman, Mr. Leth. Nothing is for nothing. There's money in ordering disorder. Chaos pays.
And that's what the Zero Theorem is about?
I'm sorry, but I no longer require your services.
Q goes nuts.
I'm sorry, Mr. Leth. I no longer require your services. I'm sorry, Mr. Leth. I no longer require your services.
Okay, I require your services. Just calm down. He rips out all the hoses from the giant computer machine.
The computer reconnects itself.
Stupid hoses, you made all of my work for it to be in vain.
The entire thing is destroyed, revealing a black hole.
Thousands of Facebook profile pics, all lost to the void. With a smile on his face, he jumps right in. He's back on that beach. This time he's got no hair. Character development? Possibly. Wilson! Wilson! He sees a beach ball, he plays with the beach ball. He sees the sun, he plays with the sun.
He's happy!
And it could be that he's solved the Zero Theorem. Has he? Who knows? The Zero Theorem. We've puzzled our way through it, and I think we've come out the other side knowing nothing more than what we knew going in.
Naming your movie The Zero Theorem basically invites critics to make zero-related puns. And I will add my name to the list. Well, I won't say it's a zero-star movie, but yes, it is definitely down towards zero.
The theory it was going to be a good movie was disproven.
See, and there's that pun too.
It's a movie of a few big and interesting ideas and a whole lot of babble.
I can't remember the last Terry Gilliam movie I saw. It's probably 12 Monkeys. And I really loved him up until that point. And then I think that I just knew that I had to let go of him because he just stopped evolving as a filmmaker.
Huh.
And seeing this movie now, yes, I was right. There's no evolution that's happened.
Well, I was going to ask you if you thought that Terry Gilliam was phoning it in on this, but I guess you just answered my question.
I haven't seen Brothers Grimm or Tideland, but maybe he's been phoning it in for a very, very long time.
You should see Tideland, because that's really out there.
Mm-hmm. You look at other great directors who have a very specific style to them. They are constantly pushing themselves to find new things. It's the same thing, the same misery.
You can't help but compare this to Brazil and 12 Monkeys.
Yes.
Now, in Brazil, the villain is bureaucracy.
Yes.
In 12 Monkeys, the villain is, it could be propaganda, it could be fanaticism, could be both. What's the villain in this?
Techno business. Management is clearly Facebook, it's clearly Tesla, and all of these big technological companies that are trying to control where our eyes are looking all the time. For a movie filled with so many ideas, there's so little creativity, and that is what is sad. It's Terry Gilliam. He's supposed to be the most creative.
Also, this character really doesn't speak to you in any way, and he's not relatable in any way. Sam Wainwright from Brazil is a hugely relatable character.
Not Sam Wainwright.
Sam Wainwright was from
It's a Wonderful
It's
Life.
a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Sam Lowry.
He's relatable, even though, when it all comes down to it, he's part of the machine. He is actually a villain who's trying to redeem himself in that movie.
Yeah.
But we see him as us.
One thing that he did do well was use his budget. He had a very small budget for this movie. He was supposed to get $20 million. I think he ended up getting $8.5.
Classic Gilliam.
But he filmed the movie in Romania or Bulgaria or something, and so he saved all this money. So I think he really gave us a good-looking movie that looked like it had a much larger budget. You know, while you were on the couch, I was writing some notes, and I just realized that Gilliam is just one letter away from William. I just laughed at that. I don't know why. I didn't hate the movie. I was just bored by the movie. It was so long. This movie is the cinematic TARDIS. It's longer on the inside than it says on the outside.
Terry Gilliam is still using a dwarf for surrealism.
It works.
It works, but ever since Dinklage's monologue back in the mid-90s, the entire concept has been called out. I've never dreamt of a dwarf, and I'm a dwarf.
You know, it could be. Gilliam got attached to this project when it was just in concept. He got his budget. He got the go-ahead. He read the script. He said, the script is not that good. My budget's a lot less than I'm just going to Gilliam it up and hope that is what it needs. Hope that's what all it needs. My fans will enjoy it because it's what's familiar to them.
Okay.
All right, the Zero Theorem has reset itself back at zero. I switched into my other mask, and now it's time for us to switch on over to Seen It. Project AA. Have you guys ever seen Straight Time by Ulu Grossbard, starring Dustin Hoffman? Seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
This is a screenplay that was written by Eddie Bunker, who most people know as Mr. Blue from Reservoir Dogs. It's based on his novel about his experiences in prison and after prison. Eddie Bunker also has a small role in the movie, and he probably has the best line of the movie, where he's telling Dustin Hoffman about this score that he's going to go off on, and he says, well, you want to come on with us? And he says, no, I'm not interested in that. I got stomach trouble. No guts. Which is kind of the ultimate tough guy line. It's like, yeah, I'm afraid, and I don't care who knows it, because I got nothing to prove. And also the not yet dead M. Emmett Walsh. And if you ever want to see that man's naked ass as he is handcuffed to a highway chain link fence, you will get your rocks off by watching this movie.
Hugh Ross writes, Joe versus the Volcano. If you haven't seen it, you should. It has an amazing cast. It's wacky, touching, deeply philosophical, if you know where to look, and wonderfully crafted. I have seen it.
I finally saw it recently.
I saw it when it came out, and I was 17 years old and ready for that movie.
I think it's a great middle. The beginning and the ending are pretty terrible. It begins, I'm going to go back to Sam Lowry. He is in a miserable world. He's in a job he doesn't like. But you know right away that he's in the wrong place and that there's something about him that makes him special. With this movie, it takes 20 minutes to find out about Tom Hanks. It's just this endless sequence of him stepping in mud puddles and going, looking up at the sky and going, ugh. And it's just a really bad 20 minutes to start out a movie with. And then in the ending, the 2 white people are spared and an entire race of indigenous people is doomed as a result of it.
They're part white. They're Polynesian Roman Jews. That's what they are. I just love the movie top to bottom. I love the fact that you don't have to look deep for the philosophy, unlike what Hugh says, or the symbolism. It's just whacking you on the head. It's that rare thing where they just show their cards the entire time and you're like, yep, the magical realism of the movie swallowed me whole.
R. Lucas 3000, you guys bring great joy. Thank you. Have you seen Witness for the Prosecution starring Charles Lawton? Seen it.
Oh, seen it.
Tyrone Power is a good actor, and he's okay in this, but there's just something about him. He's not bland like George Brent or Dick Powell.
Yeah.
He's just flat.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something that's almost two-dimensional about him.
Well, and he also just has that weird wedge-like look.
Yeah.
Victor Mature. I always get them confused because they look like the same slice of meat, the big hunk of meat that they both are.
This is a Billy Wilder film, so of course there's going to be comedy in it. And I like it was practically a comedy, particularly between Charles Lawton and Elsa Lanchester, his real-life wife and beard.
Shane Barlow Jr. writes, I loved Little Women. It took a seemingly tired story and made it relevant, exciting, and emotionally resonant. Seen it.
Seen it.
Resonant. Yes.
I really like this movie a lot, and I didn't think I was going to, because I did not like the trailer. But the movie is really great. I think it has a real energy to it.
Oh my God.
And that's what really draws you in.
The energy of the movie is so crazy. 20 minutes in the movie, I think every single shot of this movie has motion in it.
Well, just those sisters kind of slapping and grabbing each other and watching them walk down the street together. It's just exciting watching them doing normal things.
They're so alive and vibrant. My big question from the movie is, were people that grabby back in the 1870s?
These 4 girls are extraordinary in their own way, and they're kind of outside of their time.
Yeah.
So they don't act like every other female. They're different to their soul.
Yeah.
When the dad finally came home and it was Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah.
It's like when Brad Pitt shows up in 12 Years a Slave. It's like, Bob Odenkirk? What's he doing here?
He seems a bit too modern, even in this family of modern people.
Yeah. If you're tired of all the nothing in Zero Theorem, go someplace where there's something, like our website, welcometothebasementshow.com. Some of the things on there are all of our episodes, all 200 of them.
201 now.
And there are PayPal donation buttons you can click on and donate to help support this show. Generous donors such as Ian, who says, what do you guys think of animation being a separate category in film awards? In the animation industry, it's often seen as a way to delegitimize animation as family entertainment.
That's a very good point. They do deserve their own special place. But I also think that if you have something really, truly great and unique, it should be nominated for the big one.
Well, such is the case for foreign language film as well.
Yes.
If there's going to be a animated short category, there should be an animated feature category, considering how many of them are made. And there's only going to be more. In fact, I bet that there are studios and people who are converting live action projects and making them animated. I'll bet that's happening a lot.
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
And Harrison Connor, who says, have you ever considered a Rob Zombie movie like House of a Thousand Corpses? For the show? No. Never in 1,000 Corpses would I pick that movie for our show. It's too gory and rapey, and how can you do comedy with that? Just to watch, I don't know. We actually were sent that by one of our viewers. I have it on DVD. I can watch it at any time, but I just don't know that I want to go there. To find out who the rest of our donors are and to see the exciting contents of our mail crate, you should watch Unboxing, which comes out this coming Friday. Got a great big box we're opening up.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching the Zero Theorem with us, and now watch this.
I wish I was special. You're so very special.
'Cause I'm that creep. I'm a cuckoo weirdo.
Pizza! Pizza!